Hi, everyone, and welcome. We're going to give everyone just a few minutes to join, and then we'll go ahead and get started on the webinar in just a little bit. Hey, everyone, and welcome. Good morning. We're going to give everyone just a few minutes to join, and then we'll go ahead and get started in just a few minutes. We'll go ahead and get started now. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning to learn more about the Master of Science in Data Science program, otherwise referred to as the MSDS program, offered at the University of Colorado Boulder. We're very happy you're here and are ready to take that next step in your graduate education. My name is Caitlin Rye, and I am the program manager for the program. So I'm really there to, assist with any support, course support, student support that you might need throughout your time in the program. And along with me, we also have two other wonderful staff members as well who will be helping you throughout your time in the program. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to them.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Musumeci. I am the graduate advisor for this program. So I'm kind of here to help you figure out an academic plan, talk about policies, talk about resources, and just answer general questions about the program. So I look forward to meeting you. I'll pass it to Emerson.
Hi, I'm Emerson Earthman. I am the course coordinator, so that means that my role is to make sure all the courses are running smoothly and all the content is up to date and everything inside the courses is working. And I also supervise the course facilitators who act as the TAs for these courses. So I'm very glad that you guys could all be here with us today.
Great. So to go ahead and get started, we're going to get oriented with the Zoom platform. One quick note is that we will be recording this and we will share out this video recording in a few days. So likely by the end of the week, by Friday, you'll be receiving an email with this recording. So no need to worry if you have to jump off early or anything like that. There's two features that we'll be using primarily throughout this webinar, the chat feature as well as the Q&A feature. So we will be having a large break at the end to have a question and answer period. So all of those questions can be asked in the Q&A feature. And we do ask that you hold those questions to the end, just because we will likely answer your questions throughout the presentation. But before we go ahead and get officially started, we always like to see where everyone is joining us from. So if you can go down to the bottom of your screen and go to that chat feature and type in where you're joining us from this morning. Great, we have some Portland, Oregon, Longmont, Colorado, great. Las Vegas, Saudi Arabia, Atlanta, California, Illinois, Texas, great. Connecticut, Washington, D.C., Canada, great. Uganda, amazing. Well, thank you so much for spending the time. We always love to see where students are from. We do have students from 6 different continents in the world and multiple countries. So we're really excited to always see where folks are joining us from. So thanks for spending your morning or afternoon or evening with us over the next hour. In terms of the agenda and what we're going to be chatting about today is we are going to be providing a brief degree overview and kind of what to expect for the degree in terms of curriculum and the setup and the admissions process and all of that. And then we'll go over some of the questions that we typically receive. So that's where we're really asking you to hold off on those questions to the end, just because we are going to be going over some of those most frequently asked questions. And then at the end, like I said, I promise we'll have plenty of time to answer your questions that we weren't able to get to. And that's where you'll use that Q&A feature at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Emily, who's going to be providing that degree overview.
Thanks, Caitlin. Yeah, so let's get started with a little bit about CU Boulder itself. So CU Boulder is a world-class university with over 850 visiting international scholars. We are in the top 30 in the world in education based on educational quality, student training, faculty prestige, and faculty research, according to the academic ranking of world universities. And we were recently ranked number 59 in global universities by US News and World Report. We were founded in 1876, and we are a Tier 1 or Research 1 institution that proudly anchors one of the most entrepreneurial technology corridors in the US. Our faculty have launched over 140 new startups. Our researchers have filed for over 1,276 patents in the last 8 years, and 548 inventions have been delivered in the last 5 years. And we count 5 Nobel Prize winners, 5 National Medal of Science winners, and 51 Fulbright Fellows among our graduates. So pretty impressive. And then we'll start with an overview of the MSDS on Coursera program and what makes it so revolutionary. So as you kind of might be familiar with, a traditional on-campus graduate program requires a rigorous application process. But what if I told you that our program has no application? That would be correct. There's no GRE scores, we don't require TOEFL scores, no letters of recommendation, and there's no application fee, which is great. All you need to do is prove that you can do the work, and you'll be admitted into the degree program regardless of your background automatically. Simply complete a series of 3 courses with a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher, which is a B average. Then you're admitted into as a graduate student at the University of Colorado Boulder. That's the power of performance-based admissions. We don't have any formal prerequisites for this program. However, you should be familiar with Python, R, calculus, and linear algebra. And then kind of once you feel comfortable with those, you complete a series of 3 courses that I mentioned earlier. We do call that series a pathway specialization, and there are 2 to choose from. So if you're strong in computer science, we recommend that you start with the data structures and algorithms pathway. And then if you're strong in statistics, we recommend starting with the statistical inference for data science pathway. If you're not quite sure where you're ready to start, you can preview a non-credit version, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So the next unique thing about this program is the courses. So in a traditional program, each course is usually around 3 credit hours. However, in this program, our courses are focused into smaller pieces. So research shows that it's better to learn small chunks of information more frequently versus trying to understand complicated ideas all at once. So that's why each of our courses is only 1 credit hour. You can expect to spend about 5 to 8 hours per week on each class. And the program is 30 credits total. And the 3 credits that you earn from your pathway courses count towards those 30 credit requirement. So that means once you finish your pathway, you're 10% of the way through the degree, which is great. And then even though the courses are shorter, the program still covers the same rigorous content as an on-campus degree. You'll be gaining technical competency in many areas of data science, including stats, data mining, big data architecture, and machine learning. And you'll also have the opportunity to apply those skills to various areas through the electives. So Coursera uses mastery learning, which ensures that you can understand important concepts from one lesson before moving on to the next. And this is a scientifically proven way of teaching that ensures you actually understand the basic concepts before moving on to more complicated topics. So more about what makes this program unique. In a traditional program, there are normally 3 semesters per year, including summer, so spring, summer, fall, and each one of those is usually about 16 weeks long. However, our program runs 6 sessions per year, and each of those are about 8, they are 8 weeks long. So, most students take 3 classes per session, and you don't need all 8 weeks to complete a course typically. Usually it only takes about 4 to 6 weeks to complete a course. However, this program is self-paced, so you can really go faster or slower if you want within those 8 weeks. You kind of have that flexibility there. If you need a break, you could even take an entire session or 2 off. You just have to finish the 30 credit requirement within 8 years. So lots of flexibility. We will talk a little bit about payment options. So traditionally, students pay for the entire semester at once. This means you have a large bill that you have to pay upfront. However, our program allows you to pay as you go. And as of January 2023, we're excited to announce that we lowered our tuition. So it's only $525 per credit hour. So you pay per credit hour, not per semester. So it kind of allows you more flexibility there financially. And we offer more payment options. So you can pay online with a US checking or savings account with 0 fees. You can also pay with a credit card or debit card that does have a 2.75% service fee. You can also pay with wire transfer via Flyware, and you can read more about these options on our finances page. You don't get access to the course until we receive your payment and until you complete all your onboarding steps. So just remember to finish all your payment steps and onboarding steps quickly because you want to give yourself enough time to finish the course before the end of the session. Okay, so now we'll talk about kind of what you'll receive. So as an MSDS on Coursera student, you'll receive the same diploma as a residential student. You earn a Master's of Science in Data Science. Same credential as our residential students. There's really no designation on the transcript or diploma saying that it's an online program, and it's a fully accredited Master of Science in Data Science. You're invited to attend commencement on campus at CU Boulder. It's not a requirement, but we'd love to have you. You also have access to career services. As a student here, you have, as an admitted student, you have access to Handshake, which is an online tool where you can network with fellow alumni and where employers post jobs, and they also have weekly virtual employer events. You also get resume review services from VMOC. I think the name has changed now, actually. We'll update that. And then after you graduate, you will join the Forever Buffs Alumni Association. You do have CU policies that other CU Boulder students have, so from the graduate school. So this covers things like course repetition, grade replacement, academic standing, and so on. And then even though this program is completely online, there are opportunities to connect with peers. So you will have a Slack channel where you can meet classmates. There are other opportunities as well. You can get involved with our Data Science Student Association, which is a group of students in both the residential and online MSDS programs. They do events such as the hackathon, virtual movie nights, and various networking events. And again, you're also able to attend the graduation ceremonies once you complete your degree. And then let's see, overall, by reducing the time commitment and the number of credit hours per course, students can earn the same rigorous degree without the intense 16-week commitment that traditional programs require. So again, this allows you to have a lot of flexibility in regards to time and finances. And it's a perfect program for students who are, not looking to be able to have to commit to a heavy course load for months and months at a time. So very flexible. Okay, so you might be wondering how this all works. All Coursera courses are online. If you just want to learn the content, you can take non-credit classes there. With a monthly subscription to Coursera, you can watch videos, find readings, and complete labs and assignments. But if you'd like to earn credit from CU Boulder, you have to upgrade to the non-credit, to the for-credit version of the course. So to do this, you complete our quick enrollment form online and pay the tuition. And then new students are required to complete the onboarding course before they can access for-credit content. It's just a one-time thing. Normally takes a few hours to complete. The onboarding course does not affect your GPA and is not listed on your transcript anywhere. It basically just covers program details, how to use the Coursera platform, CU Boulder policies, and things like that. And then once you complete that onboarding course, you'll get access to the final exam or project in the course that you're enrolled in. And you'll complete that to earn a grade for the course and to get academic credit from CU Boulder. Students in our for-credit courses also get access to additional services like we mentioned. You'll be getting a CU email address. You'll have access to online libraries, career services. You also get weekly office hours with course facilitators in case you have quick questions about the course content. And then you also have a dedicated support email where you can get help with questions about your for-credit courses or the program, just anything you have questions about. So you can start with non-credit classes or jump right into for-credit classes, really whatever works best for you. If you're not sure if you're ready for for-credit courses, we really encourage you to enroll in the non-credit course first. Lets you find out about the online format, if it's going to work for you. You can kind of test your ability and practice the skills you need to complete assignments and assessments once you upgrade to the for-credit version. Non-credit students may earn a course completion certificate and specialization completion certificates from Coursera. This does not imply the conferral of credit from CU Boulder, and non-credit courses and specializations don't appear on your CU Boulder transcript. That's really only if you enroll in the for-credit versions. So you may pay the CU Boulder tuition and upgrade to the non-credit, from the non-credit to the for-credit anytime. Previously completed assignments from the non-credit course will be automatically applied to your for-credit experience. And you usually must complete additional exams or project to earn credit for a course. So typically, like I mentioned, the final project or exam. And then CU Boulder tuition includes access to the course on Coursera, and you do not need to pay the monthly Coursera subscription while taking a for-credit course. Please note that if you start the non-credit course and upgrade to the for-credit version in the same month, you will not receive a refund for the Coursera's monthly subscription fee. This is because the monthly subscription fee is paid to Coursera and not to CU Boulder. So just know that there might be a little bit of an overlap, but eventually you won't have to pay that Coursera subscription fee if you upgrade to the for-credit version. So now I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin.
Great, thanks, Emily. So I'm going to go over some typical learners we see in our program and some of the journeys that they can take in terms of timeline and earning their MSDS degree. So most students are like Muhammad here. So they take the standard full-time course load, which is about 3 courses each session. So in this scenario, he is taking the 3 pathway courses. He earns that 3.0 GPA average in those courses. He completes that in computer science or statistics, and then he gets admitted to the degree. At this rate, he'll be able to finish the degree in 2 years total, earning that same diploma as an on-campus student. Keep in mind that after he's earned those pathway courses and earned that degree admission, he's already about 10% done with the degree. So he only has to earn 27 more credits and really can take it at any pace. So whether you start off with those 3 credits or not, you know, that there is that flexible enrollment where you can really take as little as 0 courses per month and as many as 12 per session. Not that we would necessarily recommend that. So that is kind of one of the many options if you're wanting to earn the degree in 2 years. Now looking at the next kind of learner scenario we have, we're looking at the extended learner journey. So we understand that some students need that extra flexibility and some students might need additional time, like Ryan here. So Ryan really isn't sure whether he's ready for the program just yet, so he starts in a non-credit course. After he feels confident, he pays tuition and upgrades to the for-credit version of his course, and the work he's already completed transfers with him. Ryan has a very busy schedule, probably similarly to most of you. So he takes fewer courses per term. He even takes a break from the program completely for a few terms when he's especially busy at work. That is all okay and available in this program. So if you take this extended learner journey, just remember that you must complete the entire degree within 8 years. Now, kind of the third learner journey we're going to look at is the accelerated learner journey. So unlike Ryan, we might find students who want to finish the degree even faster. And so Linda here really wants to earn her MSDS degree as soon as possible. So she takes upwards of 4 or 5 classes every term. At this pace, you could complete the entire degree in as little as a year. So ultimately, you choose the pace that is right for you. Okay, so some of the curriculum and courses that are available in this program, this really teaches you the end-to-end data science methods. So you're really getting that full scope of both computer science topics within data science, as well as statistical topics in data science. And then the electives are where you can learn how to apply those in terms of, you know, using the skills you're learning in the core curriculum and being able to apply it to a different domain area and get that kind of real world practice. So you're learning both Python and R. So typically our statistics courses are done in R programming. So you're learning, you know, all the statistical modeling and linear regression and, you know, very key topics, you know, to be able to work on kind of the analytics side of things. And then you're also learning the computer science route, typically done in Python programming, and really being able to, you know, work with different algorithms and different data mining, machine learning topics to be able to apply that data science skills. So all of these courses here are what we call specializations. So specializations are a series of 1-credit courses that are linked together that cover a topic more in depth. So although all of our courses are 1 credit, most of them are within a specialization. So what you learn in a 3-credit specialization, which is 3 different 1-credit courses, is going to be very similar to what you would learn in a 3-credit typical kind of residential course. So that's kind of just generally how it's broken down, but the curriculum that you're learning in this program is modeled after the residential program as well, and really has that end-to-end data science. So now we're going to move into some of the frequently asked questions we receive. So the first question we often receive is the MSDS degree on Coursera accredited? So yes, it is fully accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, which is the same credentialing body as all University of Colorado Boulder graduate programs. And just remember that you will receive that same diploma as our on-campus students. The next question that we typically receive is, what if you do not have a STEM background, or what really are kind of the prerequisites for this program? And that's a great question. Luckily, you can start in that non-credit course. So if you have some experience with Python and linear algebra and statistics, but it's been maybe a little bit since you've kind of done a formal class on it or kind of worked on it in the industry, certainly start in the non-credit course, see if you have that right level of knowledge to really be able to go in and move into the 4-credit. Remember that non-credit gives you that flexibility. You're doing it on Coursera. You're not tied to the deadlines that you are once you are in the 4-credit version. So that's always an option. Now, if you're coming from a no STEM background, you have no experience with statistics or linear algebra or programming, and you're kind of really looking to get some additional coursework behind you before jumping into the master's program, that's okay as well. We do have some non-credit courses available to prepare you to be able to then go into those pathway courses. So we have 3 different specializations that we would recommend. We have a statistics specialization, intro to Python programming specialization, and then an intro to Tidyverse and R programming. So you're welcome to take all 3 of those specializations, or kind of pick and choose based on your personal background. So that's always an option as well. So lots of different flexibility points in terms of how you come into the program and what might fit you individually. All right, so I'm going to turn this over to Emerson, who's going to answer some of the other frequently asked questions we receive as part of this degree.
Awesome. Thank you, Caitlin. So another question that we frequently get is, can I transfer credits into the MSDS program? So unfortunately, we do not accept transfer credits from other institutions, but at CU Boulder, we do have other Coursera programs, such as the Masters of Engineering and Engineering Management, and the Masters of Science and Computer Science. And so you can take 6 credit hours of outside electives from those programs, and those can be applied to your degree. Another question that we are frequently asked is there financing for this program? So unfortunately, this program is not eligible for U.S. federal financial aid, and we don't have scholarships at this time. However, as Emily mentioned, we have been able to greatly reduce our tuition rate, and it used to be $20,000, and now we've got it down to $15,750. There are also options for private loans, and you can look into that and see if that might be a good fit for your needs. But there is a lot of value in the skills that you're learning in this program. And so you can always ask your employer if your company has a tuition reimbursement program that you might be eligible for, and you can pay for the courses that way. So, do you need a student visa? So you do not need a student visa to be in this program. This program is 100% online, so you will not be eligible for a student visa, CPT, or OPT. Do I need to purchase any textbooks for this course? No. Any materials you need for the class will be provided in the course, and there should be no additional materials that you will need to buy and no additional costs outside of the cost of tuition for each credit. But you will need a laptop to access the courses through Coursera. So we have dedicated staff if you do have questions about what you're learning about. Course facilitators act as our teaching assistants for these courses, and they do hold weekly office hours where students in the 4 credit classes can ask questions on the materials. And we know, as this is an online global program, we do try to hold office hours, an option in the morning and an option in the night, to make sure that people, whatever time zone you're in, can attend those office hours. But we also do encourage you to work with your classmates through discussion forums or via the Slack page. I know there are a lot of study groups in our Slack workspace, and I would definitely recommend using that and working with your classmates when you get stuck. But we do have course facilitators who are there to aid and who are very knowledgeable about the content, who can help answer any questions that you may have while working through the content of the course. So, what are the career outcomes for this program? So some of our CU Boulder graduates have gone on to work at Twitter, Disney, NBC, Apple, Boeing, NASA, Amazon, Lockheed Martin, and IBM. The median salary for data scientists, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, is over $100,000. And that is almost double the median salary in the US right now. So there have been very good outcomes for students who work through the CU Boulder programs.
Great, thanks, Emerson. So in terms of next steps, is we do have the Spring 1 session that is starting next week. So enrollment is open now. It opened last week, and it will go through February 23rd, so you can enroll anytime in there. If you are enrolling within the last 2 weeks of the session or 3 weeks of the session, just remember that these courses do end on March 8th. So all assignments are to be completed by that deadline of March 8th. So we would only recommend that option for those who've started in non-credit. So right now, if you're not really sure, you want to kind of try it out, start in that non-credit course, and then you can enroll and upgrade to 4 credit anytime within that enrollment period. Just keep in mind that that 4 credit course will end on March 8th. So hope to see you in the Spring 1 session soon. So at this point, we're going to have that question and answer period that I mentioned at the beginning. So I do encourage you to use that Q&A feature, and we're going to go ahead and answer some of the questions that we weren't able to answer in the presentation. Yeah, so I see one question that I'll kind of answer first. It's a great question. I receive this a lot, and it's really important. So someone is asking what the differences are between the Master of Science in Data Science program and the Master of Science in Computer Science program, also offered by CU Boulder. So it really comes down to that curriculum piece that I was mentioning earlier. So the data science degree uses the end-to-end data science methods. You're going to be learning both Python and R. You're learning both the analysis piece, the cleaning and storing data piece, in addition to also kind of building out the data science modeling and algorithms kind of at the front end of data science. So it really is teaching you to work with different data, apply it in that way, and it is generally interdisciplinary because you're learning both the statistics, computer science, and application areas. of the data science program. The computer science degree does have some overlapping curriculum, in particular, the machine learning course, data mining, some of those kind of joint computer science, data science topics. But it's really learning mostly in Python and mostly kind of in the programming scope. So you can certainly do that degree and also become a data scientist. But it's, just kind of the different lens of kind of a data scientist's work. So happy to answer any additional questions on that. And I'll turn it over. It looks like Emerson has some questions that she'll answer.
Hi, so one of the questions I saw is course facilitators about their backgrounds and credentials. So our course facilitators have all taken the courses before. Some of them come from the residential program, the on-campus residential data science program that we have, and some of them are Coursera students who have gone through the exact course. And so they're very knowledgeable, and we also have a facilitator who has graduated from the program and is there to aid our facilitators in any questions that they may not be able to answer. And then another question that I saw is about the final projects and exams. So the final projects and exams are very similar to the rest of the Coursera, like programming assignments. You will have the entire session to complete it. And so when you start the exam, you'll have a set amount of time, depending on if it's an exam. We have peer-reviewed assignments, project assignments, programming assignments. And so the peer review assignments, they will be due 3 days before the end of the session, which allows everybody to then review their peers. But for the most part, you can take that final exam at any point during the session, as long as it's before the deadline. I will pass it off to Emily.
Yeah, thanks, Emerson. So there's a couple related questions about going from non-credit to for credit that I'll answer really quick. So the first one is, can I convert a non-credit course to a credit course even after I have finished the course? And the answer is yes. So you can really do a non-credit course whenever you would like. You can take as much time as you would like with it. You'll make progress in that course. And then if you've completed the non-credit course, you've gotten that completion certificate, you can really upgrade based on our enrollment dates on our calendar page. You can upgrade anytime to the for credit version and finish that final exam in the course. So just be sure that you're paying attention to those dates on the calendar. But yes, anytime you want to do that, you can. And then there was another question related. Let's see, where did it go? I always have this problem. I cannot find the questions. Oh, okay. So here we go. Can you test out a course and receive credit? So you won't receive credit for a non-credit course. You'll be getting that Coursera completion certificate when you finish the non-credit course. But then if you upgrade to the for credit version and pay the tuition, that's when you'd be getting the CU Boulder academic credit. So there's kind of two different ways to finish the course, either non-credit with that Coursera certificate or getting that academic grade from CU Boulder. And I'll pass it to Caitlin.
Yeah, great. So there's some questions on career assistance and career outcomes. So one of the questions is, at what point in the program may students receive career assistance, such as networking for jobs? Great question. So that access begins once you're admitted. So once you do complete those 3 pathway for credit courses with that 3.0 GPA or higher, then at that point you do have access to career services, including virtual career fairs and kind of virtual career assistance, including some of those kind of resume building tools that Emily was mentioning. We also do have different networking events. We typically do about 2 a year, one of which is in Boulder. And so that's kind of a great opportunity to network with other students in person, visit the campus, if you're interested, or if you're local or want to come to campus, from wherever you are. That's a good option. And then you can also meet with instructors there as well. So there's definitely a few different networking opportunities, but typically that starts when you are an admitted student in the program. So the next question is also similar to career outcomes. So are there more entry-level data scientists in the program, mid-career level data scientists, or professionals? Great question. So our program is pretty well balanced in terms of people who have 0 to 5 years of experience, 5 to 10 years of experience, and then 10 plus years of experience. So we typically see students, actually it's very well balanced. It's about 30% kind of in each of those categories. And so some of these students are also making career transitions as well. So if they have 0 to 5 years of experience in data science, they might have other years of experience in a different field, but are looking to build these skills or kind of completely change careers as well. And we found that the outcomes for students in each of those categories is very similar. So.
All right, I have one here about the data mining track and kind of the reviews and some apprehension about that. So we as a program are always looking to improve, and we take feedback very seriously. And so we are constantly working and trying to update our courses as best as we can to fix any issues that have been brought to our attention. And so we do have a refresh program where we try to work and go through these issues and attempt to make these courses better and more relevant. But that does take some time. So definitely, we definitely are working on that and aware of that.
Yeah, there's a few questions I can answer here. The first one is, how do we register for a non-credit course? Great question. I think maybe the easiest way to go about doing that is if you go to our FAQ page, which we can put in the chat, there's going to be a whole section about going from non-credit to for credit, and there's a link there where it'll take you to the Coursera page where you can enroll in the non-credit versions. Also, I believe if you go to our curriculum page and look at each class specifically, there's a button on each class specific page there's a button that links to the Coursera pages that you can view the courses on the Coursera page and go about it that way. But if you have any trouble with doing that, just let us know. You can reach out to the data science email, datascience@colorado.edu, and we can help you figure that out. Let's see, there's another question about the data science certificate. Great question as well. So basically any student that earns the data science degree in full also earns the data science graduate certificate along the way. It's basically like a stackable credential. It's just a smaller chunk of the degree that equates to the certificate. You can definitely start with that. There's not really a downside to doing it. You don't have to start with that. You can kind of work on it as you go in the degree, but just know that you do earn that certificate along the way for the full degree. I'm happy to create academic plans with you if you'd be interested in that. And then there was another question down here somewhere. Can pathway courses be taken concurrently, or do they need to be taken sequentially? Great question. We do recommend basically within each specialization, classes typically build upon one another. So we do recommend that you take them kind of one after the other. There's different ways you can do that. You can either spread them out over, multiple sessions, or you can do, some students will do, for example, all the pathway classes in one session, and they'll work on the first one in the first couple weeks, the second one in the next couple weeks, and then the third pathway class in the last few weeks. Just know that that can be kind of hard to manage. So typically students do better if they start with just that one pathway course before deciding how quickly they want to go. So a lot of students will do like the first pathway course in the one session, and then they'll do the rest of the pathway courses either in that next session or over the next 2 sessions. So good questions.
I'm seeing a few questions here too about the non-credit to for credit experience and students who have the Coursera Plus subscription in Coursera or are looking to do all the courses in Coursera and then, understanding how that applies to the curriculum. Great question. So if you are taking the courses in Coursera using that Coursera Plus subscription or, another subscription you have through Coursera, you are in the non-credit version. So you're working on those assignments, you're making progress, but you're only going to be earning credit from University of Colorado Boulder once you enroll in the for credit. So if you enroll in University of Colorado Boulder's page, pay that tuition, that's considered that upgrading from non-credit to for credit. all of the work you've done in non-credit is going to transfer with you. So in most cases, if you've completed the whole course in Coursera and on non-credit, once you upgrade to 4 credit, at that point, you are just going to be completing that kind of final week of the course. So that final exam, final project, that also unlocks those resources available just to CU Boulder graduate students. You are welcome to finish the entire curriculum in non-credit and then upgrade all at once. That is not necessarily recommended, but that is that level of flexibility. So we would really encourage you, as that content is fresh in your mind, at that point, enroll 4 credit, get the credit from CU Boulder, and then kind of continue in that pattern if you really need that, extra flexibility. So that's kind of a few questions I've seen in here. I've seen a few other questions regarding some interactions with classmates and faculty that I'm going to answer as well. So we have one student who's asking, in terms of working with your classmates, could you give an estimate on how many people are in a class at a given time? Are the Slack channels for class or just for active students? Great question. So there are no required group assignments or required interactions as part of this program. However, it is very strongly encouraged, and I would say most students who are successful in the program do find that community, within their class, and that a lot of times is done through the Slack channel. So once you enroll in that first 4 credit course, at that point, then you do get access to that Slack channel, and Slack is a great place to connect with classmates either about course content or about, just kind of meeting up at a football game, or hey, I'm going to be on campus this date, or hey, I live in Texas, can we meet up? And so a lot of students have kind of met and found a community through that Slack channel, and kind of through that interaction. That's kind of part of that program. Also, keep in mind that we do have some of these networking events as well. So we've hosted one in Austin, Texas, in Mountain View, California, and then also on campus. And we are going to be planning some additional ones as well. So, depending on where you are, at least typically in the US, we'll have some of these kind of meetups that you can meet with some instructors and students, and we will notify you of those upcoming in-person networking opportunities. One final question I'll answer before turning it back over is, are the professors the same as those that teach for the on-campus degree, and are there any interaction with them? Great question. So they are the same. All of our instructors that teach for the online program also teach for an on-campus degree, whether that is the on-campus data science degree or on-campus other degrees at CU Boulder. The interaction with faculty is limited. Most of your interaction is going to be with those course facilitators or teaching assistants who are able to really kind of answer those in-depth course questions, program questions, things like that. But we do have those networking opportunities, and professors do also do different kind of industry talks. So one of our faculty is going to be doing an ethical in data science talk later on this semester. So we do encourage students to come to that. But in terms of kind of an average kind of course interaction, it's going to be mostly with those course facilitators. And then we encourage you to meet with faculty at some of these online or in-person virtual events we host.
Awesome. Well, I see a photo or a question on here about when the courses are offered, and if they switch semester to semester or session to session, they should be the same. We offer all of our courses each session, and if a course is taken off, it's most likely because it's being refreshed, and then it will be added back. And mostly, if any changes are happening in courses session to session, it will be because we are adding courses, not taking them away. So you should have access to the same course options at session to session.
Yeah. And then I can answer a few questions here. So there's a question that we get frequently about going into a PhD program in data science or information science or any other PhD program after completing the MSDS program. So basically, this program is designed for working professionals in the industry. It's not really intended to train PhD students or research students. And then any other institution can really accept transfer credit at their own discretion. However, that doesn't mean that you cannot go on to PhD programs. We have had students do so after this program, so it's not that it's impossible. It's just that's really not what our program is designed for, but students have definitely done it. So you really would just want to look at those specific PhD programs and see what they recommend and require before joining this program. And then there was a second part of that question. Will the tuition be fixed at $525 per credit for the duration of the program? I don't think that we foresee any rises in tuition for the foreseeable future. So I think you can generally expect to have that same price while you're in the program. And then let's see, there was a question about dropping and withdrawing. So basically after 2 weeks of either the course starting or after you enroll, whichever date is later, you do have 2 weeks, 14 days to drop with a refund. So just be sure to kind of get a really good sense of if you feel like you can manage the class within that time, so that you can make a decision about whether you want to drop. After that 2-week deadline has passed, your option then is to withdraw. So, it protects your GPA to get a W versus potentially a failing grade if you didn't think you were going to be successful, but you would have to repay the tuition if you did want to retake that class. So just keep those two options in mind, and I can always help figure out which one might be best for you or help you figure out how to do either of those things if you're in that scenario. So, and then there was another question here about getting a printed certificate of the master's degree once you're finished. And that is something that you get, that all of our students get when you finish the program. So just be sure that your information is correct in the Buff portal, the student portal that you'll have access to, and then you'll be able to get that printed diploma. There is more information on our current students page, kind of at the bottom, if you want to read more about that.
Great. So I'm seeing some other questions. These are really great questions today. So thanks everyone for asking them. There's a question on if there's an elective for thesis or research-based project. No. So unfortunately, this program does not have research included on it. It's a professional program. So it's really geared towards preparing you for industry and not necessarily research. We have had students go on and get a PhD, as Emily and Emerson have mentioned, but it's not really a provided option as part of this program. There's also some questions on the maximum time allowed to complete the degree and minimum time allowed to complete the degree. So maximum time is 8 years. So once you enroll in that first 4-credit course, you have 8 years to finish the degree. So plenty of time, with kind of that maximum flexibility if you need some time off, or if you really want to, take one course at a time. That is all understandable. That's why we have that 8-year limit. The minimum number of months and minimum time to complete the degree is really recommended. A year is going to be minimum. The graduate school at CU Boulder has a restriction of 15 credits that you can take per semester. So over like a fall 1 and fall 2 session, that makes up a semester. And then a spring 1 and spring 2 session make up a semester. And since the degree is 30 credits, if you need to take more than 15 credits per term, which you would need to do if you finish it in under a year, then you would have to work with Emily and the registrar's office to get that override. So it's not necessarily recommended, but you can complete them in 9 months if you get approved for that credit override. But we would really say a year is probably the minimum that you can really complete the degree successfully. So feel free to reach out to datascience@colorado.edu if you have additional questions on that.
Awesome. I see a question here about if you can redo your assignments after submitting them in the non-credit after you upgrade to 4-credit. And yes, if not all of our assignments, you'll have to check based on the individual assignment, but you should be able to submit as many times as you want before the deadline to try to improve your grade. The final exam, most, if not all, you will only be able to submit that one time. But as for the other assignments, you can submit and resubmit until the deadline.
Okay, so there are a few questions about interest in the computer science degree as well. We may have mentioned students are not able to earn both the MSDS and MSCS degree, so you really kind of have to decide what you want to do. You can earn the data science certificate and the MSCS degree, so that can be a really good option. I'm happy to talk with you about that in more in detail. And there are, like we mentioned, there are options to be able to transfer CSEA courses to the MSDS degree and then vice versa. So you can always talk to the CS advisor about transferring DS credits into the computer science degree if that's what you're interested in doing. And then vice versa, we can talk about what can transfer into the MSDS degree. You do get up to 6 outside electives. They're very specific. So those can include the EMEA courses, engineering management, and then also some CSEA courses that are not cross-listed, which means that they're in both programs. And then there's a very specific set of CS courses that don't transfer in, and those can be found on the FAQ page. And I'm also happy to talk to you about that more in detail. There's a couple other questions about how to meet with me. So you're welcome as a prospective student, you're welcome to email datascience@colorado.edu and request an appointment, and we can get you set up to, I'll send you a scheduling link where you can really schedule whatever is convenient for you. And then if you're a current student, you'll have access to that support email that you can always reach out to get scheduled with an appointment. There's also, I believe on our current students page, there should be a link to be able to schedule with me. So different options to get connected with me.
So a few other questions, and also keep in mind that we have about 8 minutes left. So we're going to answer all the questions we can. If we cannot answer all the questions, I would encourage you to reach out to that datascience@colorado.edu, and we can answer any follow-up questions you have. Or of course, use this time to kind of ask these questions here, and we're going to get to as many more as we can. So one of the questions is about the if you're coming from a non-STEM background, how to take that math prereq course that I mentioned earlier. That is on Coursera. That is only in non-credit, so you will not receive credit from CU Boulder, but it is a really great preparation tool for you to be able to then get into those pathway courses and the degree. So if you search under the degree, and I can find the link as well after this and post it in the chat. It is called, the Math Essentials Expressway to Data Science. So if you search that in Coursera, you can complete that specialization on Coursera. That's a pretty good tool to kind of get up to date with the linear algebra and calculus kind of required to be able to do well in the degree. There's also some additional questions just about the program. So when did the program begin and how many students have graduated so far? So the program began in March of 2021, and so far we've had over 100 students graduate from the program. I know there's some specific career outcomes as well, so some just kind of quick highlights as well for this program career outcomes is 95% of students have earned a promotion, increased their salary, or had a job change within 3 months of graduation, and 75% of those students are earning more than $100,000 per year as their salary. So really proud statistics we have of some of these kind of students who've gone on. Some of them have used those career resources, whether that was, finding an internship in the program, which is not required, but you can use those career resources to have an internship or use them for kind of that full-time job search as well. So there's definitely those resources to help you in your career search, whether you're looking for a career change, promotion, or kind of talking to your supervisor about a salary increase after you earn a degree.
There's a question on here about like grade replacement and kind of what happens if you fail a course. So as far as I know, there is not a limit to how many times you can retake the course, but for grade replacement, you do have to get a grade of C- or lower to be eligible, and you will have to repay for the course and re-enroll in order to be eligible for the grade replacement policy.
Yeah, and then real quick, I'll clarify. I know we had talked a little bit about if you, let's say that you had decided to do the DS program and then changed your mind about and wanting to go to the CS program instead. So I just wanted to clarify. So let's say that you were about halfway through the DS degree and then changed your mind and wanted to do the CS degree. There would likely be credits that wouldn't apply to that CS degree. So if you had taken courses outside of the allotted 6 credits that apply as outside electives, just know that not all your credits would transfer. So it's important to kind of decide what you want to do. There are cross-listed courses, like I mentioned. So if you had taken a course that was offered in the DS program as well as the CS program, those would transfer, but anything outside of those, then those electives, they wouldn't apply. So just be thinking about what decision you might want to make.
Few questions related to international student experience that we'll probably close out with. So students asking if they are an international student completing this degree internationally, would they be able to land a job in the US, with an H-1B visa? Great question. So we do not offer student visas, so you will not earn that F1 student visa. So you're not eligible for that CPT or OPT, which will sometimes aid in your job search in the US. You're welcome to use the career services, tools and, find a job with that. But just keep in mind that you won't have that CPT or OPT as part of that F1 student experience. So yeah, great question. There's other questions about, if this degree is valid in different countries, including Ecuador. Great question. It is, fully accredited US master's degree. So as long as what you need, requires that, a fully accredited Master of Science degree, then yes, it is eligible in different countries. We've had international students, receive jobs in their kind of home markets, and have really been helpful on that front. Looking through if there's any other questions. If you asked a more specific kind of personalized question about your specific background, we do encourage you to reach out to datascience@colorado.edu, just so we can kind of better assist you on kind of that more personalized front. Yeah, I guess one final question that I'm seeing is someone is possibly concerned about the job market for data scientists. And do you think this job market situation will change soon? Great question. In terms of the data we're seeing, we're not seeing any differences in career outcomes for students who graduated over a year ago and students who are emerging the job market now. The outcomes are the same. So at least from kind of what data I can point to, I'm not seeing any evidence that it's impacting students going out into the field and industry. So I do not have any concerns, kind of based on that data. So I think the job market's still looking strong for data scientists, and there's always going to be a need for data scientists, data analysts. There's always going to be data and not enough people who can understand that data, being able to work with the data kind of from that end to end, and then really being able to communicate it out, between both technical and non-technical folks at a company. So there's always going to be that need, even in, not a data scientist role. Sometimes I think I need to be a data scientist, to really be able to work with all the data we have. So I think the job market's looking great. So we have just about a minute left. I know Emily wrote in there the datascience@colorado.edu. Feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions. Keep in mind, we will be sending out the recording by the end of the week. And thanks for joining us again this morning. We look forward to chatting with you more soon.
Thank you.